So, I don't know if I have this, but I've had this since Tone Town. It's because a lot of 2000X shouldn't have been graded. I mean, this is not a rare figure, but it was more so, I think he was showing the different grades you can get. So, this is the old owner of APG when he was just doing test shots and like how he wanted to do products. So, if I don't have this, I'm gonna open it.
What'd you just say?
I'm gonna open it if I don't
No,
have
you're
it.
not.
A little bit of our grading world, different figures we've got in from different toy lines, what grades they got, and let's explain why we got the grades. Spectrotron. So a lot of the hype, this is kind of like the KO version of Scareglow, but 3 billion times more rare. So this is a CAS 70. Let's see if it gives me any. The Y is a 72, so I'm guessing yellow. I don't know, card based on a 70. And again, I'm not a grader, I don't grade, so I get guys that ask a lot of times in like lives, like I'll be holding something, like, oh, what do you think would grade? I don't know, because it's all pretty random and bogus to me. Like I'm in no way, shape, or form. So, for example, when I look at the Spectrotron, one, having it on a card is like, there's probably 10 left in the world, something of that nature. It's that crazy. But I've got huge creases, so this should be like a 40, but it got a 70. But I think what they do is they try to do the realm of like 0 to 100, 100 being perfect, but then also how many might be left. I'm guessing, not a guy. Spectrotron is probably my most prized piece graded in our school, or our school. In our school. All right, sit this right here. I'm always scared. I don't tilt them and set them up ever. They always lay flat until someone wants to buy them, because they're a KO. Like, so now you're going into your Flexotron, I can see where it's starting to lift a little bit, but it is a graded 80, and that's again one of those figures you just never ever see. And you figure with no weapons, anything like that, you're looking at a $400 or $500 figure, and it's just a bendy. It's just a big bendy figure. That's it. But they were we had all of them except for, I believe it's Vipin. I don't know. I'm missing one of the 6. I have them all carded, all graded, and I believe they're all 80s except for one. I think I have 175. But still, you're never gonna see them, especially on card. So for any of those KO collectors, you know, we do payment plans. So, see how I set it flat. So now we're going to go into some Motu. So you're going to notice that the APG logos have completely changed. It's under new ownership. We've been working with the owner quite a few months now. We've got submission stations in both stores. He has just been so great to work with, man, because he puts that extra touch into everything he does. Like, there's so many of these that when you put the card in, the flap just holds the card, but it doesn't hold the plastic back. And you can just tell where he has taken everything that's worked and made it better. So in this case, this is designed, this case keeps the card flat all the way around while maintaining the plastic stays on the bubble. You won't get that lifting that you might get in, as you saw in the other one. So this is your Too Tall Hoove, which is by far the most expensive New Adventures of He-Man of all time. So like I said on my other figure, we do offer payment plans, which is a super easier, convenient way to buy, especially when you're going into the high-end world. It doesn't mean you're broke or any of those things. It's just, it gives you an idea on how to budget your money without going broke or spending it all in one big buy. So for us, it's 25% down, and then we can either do a 30, a 60, or a 90-day plan. So you heard me talking about opening this guy. She's really lucky I already own this. We had to check my sheet. but I own it. So this is the action chip, which was really cool because then you got voice and different messages from using the Castle Grayskull with it, and that was a really neat piece for the Masters line. I loved it. So, but that's an APG 85, which again, it's a super clean trap jaw, especially if this was one of my favorite figures. Like, I'm a Stinkor guy. If this was Stinkor Staction graded, then I would just keep it graded. I'd like that because then it protects it forever. But it being a trap jaw, it's not even the color variant. It's not a very rare item. It's cool, but it's okay. Now, probably one of the most insane Masters figures of all time on card, and everyone's like, why is that Mosquito so expensive? This is the only figure in Masters history, vintage, that's ever come with the Eternia comic. So that comic came with Eternia or Mosquito. I have pondered through hundreds and hundreds of Mosquito listings on eBay just to see if I see another one. I'm gonna scoop it up, and I can't find one. So there's one other gentleman that I know that has this, and then we have this one. It's the only two I know of. So again, pretty crazy. That's a 75 grade APG, and it's the card's a 75, the B's an 80, and the F's an 85. So figure 85, kind of the blisters in 80. It gives you an idea because right on top of the blister is that little crease. Would have been an 80 if it didn't have that. Darn it. But it's cool. Alright. Now, if you're a Joe fan, you already know what I'm holding up, man. You've got your 2010 con exclusive Big Lob. So they have done another Big Lob later than this, but this is definitely, if you're into the 3 3/4 size figure, that's what you're gonna chase. This is $1,120, man, but it's beautiful. It's beautiful. The fact that he made like a little rectangle for the card to stay, doesn't slide in and out. The weapons are in their own shaped acrylic case. The figure literally has engraving of the name. And we got, it's a 90 grade, bud. What? Alright, since we did G.I. Joe, we're going to keep going with G.I. Joe. The one and only Mickey Coco. Now, in the beginning, I remember being like, what in the world are they talking about? I'm looking at my Joe book, I don't see nothing that says Mickey Cobra. It's the insignia on the chest is completely different than what's on the card. If you look really close, the top part of that looks exactly like a Mickey Mouse symbol. So that's a true Mickey Coco with the little blaster in its own little box, its file card in its own little box, and that got an 80 grade, and that's 730 graded. Ow! Who you like? Who do you like? Now, this bad boy, this was actually my first ever CAS graded item that we've ever sent off from the shop. That was before I built up my relationship with APG. A lot of my issues with grading, I know I'm gonna get questions. If it's for you, great. If I can be guaranteed, hey, I'll send this in today and I'll have it back next week, I'll go get a lot of stuff graded. But to buy something so expensive, send it off, not have it for over a year, it's bad business. I don't care who out there is telling yourself that it's good business, it's bad business. Because you're out that money for over a year. God forbid the line dies or it loses popularity. That chance that it might spike is always an idea, but that comes down to speculation. So I'll keep with just selling it and you send it to get graded. So this is a CAS 80. And that's your Cobra Night Landing, man. One of the coolest little boats in the world. It's got a lot of the colors of the ferret, so it goes hand in hand. I guess it'd be really cool 2-pack if they would have done a ferret in the boat. You know what I mean? Put it like in a little wagon where he can get it, take his boat with him. What are you trying to look at, bud?
I wish they would have cleaned it off before they put it in.
I know, it's a little dusty in there, bud. Yeah, they did no cleaning on that boat. You can literally see fingerprints in the dust. CAS? Now, Motu Classics. Evil Lynn, man. This is where AFA really stirred the water a lot. So when you were first getting graded Motu Classics, their banner was up top. Now this is a 9.25 uncirculated, which means it never was opened up out of the mail or it never went to a store floor, etc. So here you are with this beautiful 9.25. Now, as you were getting Motu Classics figures, you'd be shipping them out to get more graded as they were coming in, etc. Without letting you know They changed their grading. So now the acrylic is shorter and the banner or the information is on the side now. So you'd have a whole bunch of your figures like this, and then you got a couple of them like that. My OCDs would set me ablaze. I'd be sending every single one back like this to get changed, because they should have given an option. Hey, if you've been a fan, then you could continue this. But again, I'm not a grader. It's not my business. They can do whatever they want. It's their stuff. Now, again, I will never take favoritism. I will share with whatever I think is better. I do love that CAS, instead of having the panels where you could see where they've been glued and connected, on any of the fronts, they're curved. So there is no, this is actually one solid piece, which gives it a much cleaner look than some of the APG stuff that has those edges there, where you can see it's almost like they took multiple panels and made it a box. So it'd be one of those things maybe down the road that they'll start to pick up on, but for a new company, they're doing a fantastic job. Batman. Now, again, this is one of the first items. Again, this is one of the items back from Ponytown. I wanted to take a couple different lines. I didn't want it just to be Masters. This is a more higher end Dark Knight figure, so I was like, you know what, let's get that graded and give it a really cool look, you know. So this bad boy's got some miles on it. It's been taken to a lot of shows, but it's a perfect example of what other things you can get graded. So for me, if it would save me 20 bucks and I didn't have to get like a grade on it and I could just keep sending you product to put in acrylic cases, I'd be all about it. Now, what you got on this one, bud? You know about this? All right.
What about that?
So this is what I'm talking about. This is a CAS case. This case is not a graded item, but tell me the difference from afar. You can't. Besides the sticker inside, it's the exact same piece, right? But it has a slipcase. So instead of putting this on your shelf like that, you've got that really, really nice case, man, that just lock it in. Now, I find these sometimes a little bit, I've had a couple crack. This has a little hairline crack. If it isn't perfect, it won't shut, but that does just enough for me. And the fact that down the road, if I find a better condition, I could keep switching it out, versus once you're, you know, I'd now have to sell this Splinter in order to go get a better Splinter and then go get it graded again. So pros and cons of grading, that's all. So this is CAS 80. That's your Shogun Splinter. Very, very cool piece. I do see a lot of Splinters and a lot of Aprils, but I don't see the Shogun Splinter that much, so that's why we're pretty happy about getting that guy all done up. Now, once a month we get asked about an off-the-wall line, and it seems like Futurama has been brought up so much, and we're like, we don't have anything, and then everyone's like, we do. One thing. This poor guy, man. So Zoidberg is a graded 85, and it's 280 bucks. All right, now I'm gonna go into a little bit of my OCDs again. My sticker's crooked. It's like this. If I'm paying for a service, there is no reason on God's great earth that that's crooked. But there's been many times, man, where there are misspellings and things like that, but there you go, man. A little bit more grit. Now, one of the most rare, insane pieces in the history of my store, the history of Lego, is the Cloud City. This is the big dog. I remember talking on the phone with Jeff, which is the owner of APG, and many people, why would you not go to AFA? Why would you not go to CAS? I did not price this on being graded. I priced it on, it's a sealed Cloud City. But I wanted to, I was an underdog, I was a new shop, and it was scary to build those relationships with good stuff, so I sent it to someone that deserves having some really crazy product through their brand. So APG treated it like it was their own. They packed it crazy. It looked like I got a new dishwasher. I was like, what is that box at my house? My Cloud City. So he even did a really good job, man. It's got an inside rectangle of acrylic that keeps it from moving or changing anywhere inside. I love that he left it, there's a hair gap inside. I mean, that allows it, God forbid the Lego bag shift and start to put pressure, it'll never, you know, get a hole on the product. But it's $10,000. And that's graded 85. Now, pretty cool, man, because this is the first appearance of Lando in his normal outfit, and then it's the first Boba Fett minifigure with the arms, legs, and belt painted. So very cool. And then I was doing some research trying, because I think it's important to be able to feed information that I'm learning to the people that might not know. So on this box spring, it says 698 pieces. Just so happens that the Lego person that was counting couldn't count. It's got 705. 705. So not only do you get this beautiful set for $10,000, you get 7 extra pieces that weren't included. But they were included because they're inside. See? There you go. You want to buy it?
No.
Can I keep it?
No.
Let's open it.
No.
That would be so great. Set the world on fire with that. Like, oh my! I get those people. Why are you opening those? Why are you opening those 80s toys? Why did your mom and dad not hug you more? There you go, guys. It's all the cool, greatest stuff we've got in the shop right now. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a ton up in Gettysburg. There's a ton up in storage because we only have so much graded cabinets available. So keep in mind what's going to change and what might be going out. Like it's like my used car sales. Drive on down to Old Skippy's. Get yourself a car. No mileage warranties.